Hello everybody. Today I thought I'd give you a quick walkthrough of the new Maria Callas Remastered edition on Warner of all the EMI HMV studio recordings and recitals that she made. Just to whet your appetite, I thought I might just give you a glance of the year 2000 Maria Callas auction catalogue, which I managed to obtain from Paris, from the auction house, which always whets my appetite, certainly when going to be listening to Callas recordings, etc. It's a lavishly produced catalogue, as you can see, showing a great many of the Diva's personal effects which were auctioned at the turn of the millennium. It's a beautifully produced book. I believe they're very hard to get hold of now, but I managed to get mine from the auction house in Paris in 2000. But I just thought that this might make a nice prelude to looking through the complete remastered box set. As you can see, there's some wonderful photographs of items which had been in the collections of, private collections indeed, of Italian collectors in the main, and I believe some had been in storage, but most of them had obviously been at Callas's apartment at 36 Rue Georges Mandel. Letters there written on board Christina when she was with Onassis. So rather a nice item to have in any Callas lover's collection. But as I say, I believe rather difficult to lay one's hands on now. It's certainly a keepsake I wouldn't part with. The famous hairpiece from the cover of Medea, of course. So if there's any interest in looking through the catalogue, I could perhaps do a more in-depth video on that itself. But as you can see, I thought that might whet your appetite somewhat. However, the main point of the video today is to give you a quick walkthrough of the Maria Callas Remastered edition box set. So it comes in this rather nice and sturdy red box. I'll just remove this flyer, which isn't attached to the box, but does show you the miniaturized artwork for all the album sleeves there. There's 70 discs in total in the set. The new transfers from the original master tapes made at Abbey Road Studios using 24-bit 96 kHz remastering, 26 operas and 13 solo recitals, as you can see. So of course the Maria Callas signature across the top of the box. And here we have the remastered complete studio recordings made between 1949 and 1969. So we removed the bomb-proof outer case, as you can see, like that. Inside there's a piece of black foam, a wedge-shaped piece of black foam, which just keeps all the discs perfectly in position, so if you move the box you're not rattling around the contents. So there we have the discs all arrayed, and I'll show you some of the artwork on them, the miniaturized artwork, about which, you know, there's one or two quibbles, but I'll mention those as I come to them. Slotted down the back of the box is a rather nice hardback book. I'm not sure how many pages it is actually, it's quite lengthy. It's about 132 pages long, and as you can see, some nice photographs of Callas. Actually some very good photographs of her at work in the listening to playbacks in the recording studio and so on. There we have her at La Scala listening to playbacks of Gioconda with Antonino Votto and Walter Legg and Antonio Tonini there lurking in the background. Some very good photographs of Callas at work, of course, on the famous checkerboard flooring there. I think that's at Scala. And as you can see, some wonderful and very evocative shots, some of which I actually haven't seen before, so certainly a nice addition to the box set. There she is with her friend, of course, Franco Zeffirelli in 1964. Also some very nice shots which will interest techie people of the remastering process, and also which interests me, the original technician's notes which accompanied the original master tape, so that's quite interesting to look through. As you can see, They must be extremely fragile by now, I would have thought. But it is nice to see. There's the butterfly master log there. Also lots of correspondence to do with the recordings and so on, which is also interesting to look through, which has been reproduced in the booklet. The paper is glossy art paper, so it's rather nice. It's certainly a nice addition to the set, and it's been done with a lot of care and a lot of love, I think. It's in several languages, of course, so you do get chunks which won't be of interest to you, but of course the photographs differ throughout, so that's nice. Of course, there she is with Schwarzkopf, and here she was with Walter Legge and Victor de Sabater in 1953. So yes, the famous Norma, of course, Paris, May '64 there. A nice little triptych of Callas at work here in the Salle Wagram in Paris in the spring of 1961, recording Callas à Paris. But it's a nice set of the hard-working Maria Callas at the day job. Yeah, but very nice booklet. Well, book actually, with its hardback cover to accompany the set, and as I say, that just slots down the back. Now the discs themselves, as we've mentioned, have the miniaturized artwork on them. They're not actually numbered; they're chronological, running from the beginning, from the first recording in 1949 for Cetra, right through to the final recordings. The librettos are on a CD-ROM. I don't think they've been numbered so that the collectors can actually rearrange them in any order that you'd like. If you want all the recital discs together and so on and so forth, you're at liberty to do that. But they're in this nice raked, as you can probably see, nice sort of raked appearance, so they're easy to look through. And then we've got the miniaturised artwork. So there's Lucia di Lammermoor under Seraphin. One problem I find with them is the rather ugly inclusion of the Warner logo on the front. Now, of course, Warner do own HMV, EMI, Angel back catalogue recordings, and Phonic Cetra as well. But they've eliminated all the original logos which would have appeared and replaced them with Warner Classics, which I think is a bit vulgar, really. If you're going for authenticity, you really should try and reproduce them in their entirety. And as Robert Seletsky, the Callas authority and a friend of mine, has pointed out, there are one or two sloppy inclusions in terms of the artwork on the set. For example, the 1952 Gioconda, which is in here somewhere. Let's have a look. Gioconda, there we are. The Gioconda, which, as you can see, they're quite nicely produced because they're in the sort of original sleeve there, and they have a little booklet with them, and then some just plain paper sleeves to house the discs themselves. But there's the Gioconda. You'll notice Maria Callas on the cartouche there on the cover, which is, as Robert has pointed out, is the result of a rather sloppy rephotographing of post-1960 album covers, because of course at this time she was listed as Maria Meneghini Callas, and after 1960 she had Meneghini removed from her album artwork. So these are obviously not the original covers which have been photographed there. So that's that he, and indeed I agreed with Robert, it's rather sloppy. The same with the 1957 Barbiere. Again, the Meneghini has been removed, and shouldn't have been for a 1957 album cover. And also, there's one or two other anomalies. The Columbia discs, for instance, always had on the cover Columbia long playing 33 1/3 RPM record. One of the recital discs, I think it's the Puccini arias, if I can find it in the set. But certainly one of the recital discs. Probably can't find it now. I'm looking for it, but certainly it's had that removed, and that's made it rather irritating because it's thrown the balance of the cover artwork completely off. So it's Puccini arias. I think there it is. Yeah. The logo is here. You can actually see where it's been removed here. That did say Columbia 33 1/3 RPM long player, which has been removed, which has sort of left the cover work a bit unbalanced. But that's maybe only for people who are really picky about it. But I think if you're going to do a set and it's going to be authentic, then really you oughtn't to meddle with the artwork very much if you can avoid it. The remasterings, of course, you can hear online. They have been remastered wherever possible, I believe, from the original master tapes. So years of added accretions, fake stereo and hiss reduction and declicking and so on, which have marred some of the CD issues, have to a great extent, I think, been removed. And what we should have here is certainly a lot closer to the original LPs, although not in every case, and people will see that there are problems here and there. But I think it's a very handsome set, and certainly one that any Callas aficionado would want to have in their collection, I believe. But yeah, the artwork is rather nice to have the original artwork reproduced, and of course the very striking photographs of Callas that usually adorn the LPs are certainly worth looking at. But there's a quick walkthrough of the set. I'm sure that people who are interested will look into obtaining it for themselves, but it's a very handsome set and one of which I think many Maria Callas fans will treasure. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have any comments, please leave them in the box below. Thank you.